Talk now doing the intro. I unmute myself, but XSplit takes forever to say. How's it going, guys and gals? Welcome back for this week's episode of the Insider Gaming News Talk Show. I'm your host, Life Shift Drift, or Room Shift Gaming.
Run.
Oh man, I was like, scared shit. I forget that thing comes through so loud.
No, just being yourself.
Oh man, I'm joined by Sendo, Jesse, and Kid Tutu. How's it going, guys?
Good evening.
What's up?
Oh no.
Good morning, everybody, or afternoon. You know.
Oh man, yeah, I know, dude. This week's been like kind of a whirlwind, man. Like not just for like news wise, but everything else too. Ooh, so much. Let's get started. What have you guys been playing this week? What's been the new and exciting thing? I know me and Tutu's answer for this week.
Yes.
Well, I started playing No Man's Sky, as you guys know.
Yeah. Played it together on Wednesday, right?
Yep. And then I also did Boston Comic-Con this past weekend. So besides dealing with that and then playing a little bit of No Man's Sky, that's really all I've been up to the past week.
Nice.
What are your thoughts on it? Your beginning thoughts on it so far?
The crafting system is cryptic to me. I play a lot of crafting survival games and everything seems very confusing and disjointed.
I finally figured out. So what makes that big difference, at least for you, versus like how we see it? The difference is they force you to do exploration to figure that out, instead of like a straight leveling system with just like the standard survival aspects of it. Whereas this one's really not about survival; it's about exploring. Like explore until your heart's content, basically. Yeah. And that's where kind of how the crafting system works, if you think of it that way.
Yeah, it's just sometimes, when I play a survival exploration game, I kind of like it when I can just like, I could build like a base level 1 structure off the get.
Yeah.
Like Conan is kind of the same way. You have to discover stuff to unlock stuff. But it just seemed a lot more, it flowed a lot better. Like it seemed a lot more natural progression.
Well, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Scale up and then the open world is boom.
And this one doesn't really go on the survival aspect at all. Like you spend more time in space than anything, so you're never going to be stuck to one place or one piece of terrain or anything like that. You're basically just jumping from planet to planet to planet.
Yeah, and trying to find. It starts me out on like a toxic world that kind of makes me have to survive for a little bit until I figure out the crafting.
They still haven't changed
that's kind of like where it's like disjointed. Because the crafting system to me wouldn't be as bad if they start me out on like a class M, to use a Star Trek term, kind of world. It's just like got a little bit of oxygen, I can hang out, I just gotta worry about the occasional hustle fauna. But when I have to occasionally keep getting sodium and oxygen to stay alive and redo my hazmat system, the crafting system might want to be a little simpler, or at least more a little bit more Barney style for the initial playthrough for me.
Well, yeah, they don't really have you do much like crafting until you get off the first planet. They have you do it when you get off of that planet. And I don't know why
Space Engineers throws you in the middle of everything, which is a huge crafting system that's crazy. But I still found that easier to navigate than
Oh,
the first couple hours of No Man's Sky.
yeah. Like once you realize what they do in the first section, it's not too bad. Like they for whatever reason they still do that to you. They throw you on a random like toxic planet or a cold planet or a hot planet or something or another, and then you have to like deal with it until you get off of it.
Also, the fact that we were there with each other but in different ecosystems was very weird. Like I remember for you, you kept having like this. You kept having these weird heat dust storms, but I kept going down to like below 50 degrees Celsius, and like you'd be standing outside burning to death. I'd be standing out next to you, it'd be like perfectly fine.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a weird divergent from the thing, but that was after I crashed too, though. So I can't.
Standing outside burning to death while the person right next to you is freezing their balls off.
Yep.
I had those heat storms that you did, Tommy.
Oh, okay.
But so maybe I was just on a normal planet that just had really cold nights while you guys were on Crematoria.
Well, no. Like we had the cold nights too, but it was hot during the day. Like so, we would go and we'd have a random firestorm during the day, and then at night it would get like super cold.
Yeah, I would never have any of those fire dust storms you guys had. I just like watch you run inside, and I just standing outside, just like, okay, I'll just go do stuff.
Yeah, I only build the structure basically just to do the quest for it and get it done, and then otherwise.
I couldn't even figure out how to build the structure. Like, where'd you go build the components? Did you build that in your exosuit? Did you have to go?
You don't build the components. You just go
it to the exosuit. And if for some reason 2/3 of your inventory slots are grayed out, so you have to like.
That's a suit upgrade thing. So that's a suit upgrade. They force you to do it so you get upgrade suits and inventory slots and all that fun stuff.
I don't know. It just It seemed too little, too much in certain areas. I don't know. The balancing was just off for me. For like a new player experience, the balancing was just like, what the hell is this? I would never got the space if I wasn't playing with you guys.
Yeah,
I literally would like the hermetic seal. It was giving me no clues on how to find that, how to make that. They even have like a crafting list.
No, they did. They did for the hermetic seal.
Out the game and go on Wikipedia and just be like, no, how do I do this?
No, they did. They did it for the hermetic seal. They said go explore nearby and you'll find one here in a building or something like near.
I had already explored 20 minutes in each direction, didn't find no fucking hermetic seal.
Well, yours is because I took yours on accident.
Oh,
well, not just that, and then you gotta go craft stuff to like open the modules and crap because they all got magnetic seals on them, and then you get items that you don't you know, what the hell am I supposed to do with nanites when I don't even know how to like build
it's a currency to like
what's $50 if I can't build a stool? Like
it's different. It's a long-term exploration with stuff. Like some of that stuff you're not going to be able to unlock right away. Like those little drop pods and stuff like that, you have to come back for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a very slow pace kind of open-ended game. And it's kind of like it's very niche in that way, in that like if that's not your style, like if you want something more structured, then No Man's Sky is probably not for you.
I just want something that can introduce me to the mechanics better.
Yeah, it could use a better introduction.
That's all I want. Agree. Like I'm my issue is just the mechanics. I like the world, like I like the little biospheres, like the little creatures,
Yeah, the difference is
I like all that stuff. It's just being able to actually do anything. It just felt like a huge barrier.
The difference is you go in thinking it's a survival. That's the first mistake of that game.
Well, I already know the end game of No Man's Sky, and that.
Oh, it's getting like your super big ships, your freighters, and all that stuff, and getting the better combat ships. Because like we're still in Class C ships. We don't even have like the DCs, A's, S's. All right, and what was there's another one above S. What's the one above S? Do you remember, G2? I don't remember. It's been a while. I know DC has them.
As Masterclass, I want to say.
Masterclass.
Hey, are we having an issue with the stream? We have some people complaining in the chat.
I'm not seeing any issues currently.
We don't have any drop frames or anything.
Okay.
It goes A to S.
A to S.
Raven's has been having looks like buffering issues.
Unless it's on mobile or something, I'm not sure. We pump out at like 6,000 bit rate. It's a little high for mobile, but it's at 2,200 right now. Anyway,
everybody. Oh yeah, that's right. Just Ravens us. All right, I checked into it.
Corey, what have you been playing? Tutu.
We should ask Midas first, because
Oh yeah, that's my first. Yeah, because we'll go into that. Yeah.
I'll be real with you. I moved into my dorm this week. And thank you, Tutu.
congratulations.
I played a little bit of No Man's Sky. And I stopped playing No Man's Sky, and then I kind of really haven't been playing anything this week because I suck. I've just been watching JoJo and like sitting. But I have plans today to go ahead and restart my Minecraft realm. Because bees are coming to Minecraft, and I love bees so much. So I'm going to be playing some Minecraft. Going to be playing some No Man's Sky for sure. But yeah, I'll be.
I hope you get Nicolas Caged by those bees.
You know what? I'm
Oh my
going
God.
to get an armor stand, slap it next to the bees, put a name tag on it, and say Nicolas Cage on it. No, not the bees! Not the bees! But yeah, I did try out the new update for No Man's Sky. You know, I keep doing this with No Man's Sky. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be the next big thing. But like, it was just a decent update.
Yeah, I felt personally like the last update was bigger.
Yeah, the last
To me.
update was much bigger, but like this is just it's a decent update. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. There's nothing special about it other than the new multiplayer hub that you can summon.
Well, and it's the later level and new exploration places, right? Where's the big things? Not just
Right.
the Nexus.
Right. It's stuff that you have to like go and spend a lot of time in to find and figure out, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, you know, I got work to do. My school starts Monday. Yes, it was a reference. But yeah, my school starts Monday. I don't have that kind of time to go and explore this vast universe when I have homework to start doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same here. I would love to play more, but I think I might be done with No Man's Sky for now, especially with all the games coming out this fall.
Oh my dude, like it's just in the next 3 weeks. Like
Yes.
don't even count the rest of fall. Just the next 3 weeks is already busy.
The
Oh
funny
my
thing
God.
for me is this is gonna be like when my free time goes up because all my nephews, all my nieces, all go back to school.
Nice.
So I'm actually probably gonna be having free time this winter to play more games. So I'll take up
Nice.
I'll take up all you guys' time slots. I got this. No, I got Disney. I got a few family trips this fall I gotta worry about. So you know, it's probably gonna definitely cut into a bunch of my gaming.
Oh yeah.
Can't exactly be gaming when I'm in Orlando.
All right.
Yeah, the
Tutu.
Switch you could. God damn it.
Oh yeah, you switch your kid.
You know what? If my nephew gets one, I'll probably end up stealing it from him.
I took my Switch with me over the weekend, so I had it with me.
Because we got extremely rare dynamic this Disney trip that almost no family has.
Let's get
Five
through the
adults,
rest of
2 kids. It's great.
Okay, so my God, only one game I want to talk about this week. I've been playing a hell of a lot of Remnant from the Ashes. Now, this game, it wasn't on my radar before, and I heard about it, but you know, looking at it, I was like, that's probably going to be one of those games.
Wait, who
comes
out of the 4 of us, who was the biggest advocate for that game at first?
Midas.
It was me. I was really.
Yeah, Midas was getting the T-shirt. He backed the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I got back the Kickstarter.
For Remnant? Did you really?
I was selling INNsider information for $5. Listen, if you want leaks, man.
Sorry, go.
You know.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, Tommy put out a notice saying that like he was down to do like a co-op squad stream for this, and I was like, you know, let me look more into this game. And I started watching videos. And I was like, oh my God, this looks like really, really awesome. And it's one of those things where I was still a little bit skeptical, you know, because it's a brand new game, new IP from a developer that did so stuff. They did the Darksiders like series, which, you know, there's some good Darksiders games, some okay ones. And I just made the plunge. I bought it, and I am so glad that I did, because this game is honestly the best game I've played all year. Like, I can happily say that. It's story wise, it's kind of like you're not really there for the story. It's all about the gameplay. This game pretty much encompasses like everything I'd want from a game. It has like a lot of Souls elements to it. There's like a little bit of Division flavor, a little bit of Warframe flavor into it. I feel like it's really one of those games where you have to like check out for yourself and play to really like see. And I feel like if you're the type that's on the fence of a lot of those like looter shooters or even like Souls types games, this would be one to like kind of like step your foot into those genres. It's so rewarding, so dope. Like one of the coolest things about it is I'm pretty much almost done with the game. I'm at the last boss, and there's like a huge number of bosses that I didn't see or I didn't fight, and that's because like it'll like randomly choose like what bosses you fight. So it kind of pushes you to do like multiple playthroughs of the game to kind of like see what's out there, see what you missed and whatnot, which is really cool. And there's like co-op to it, which is like so fun and so awesome. Even playing with like randoms, like this is the most fun I've had, like playing with just random people. And it's fun. It's funny right now because you can't like communicate. But it's funny because people will just kind of like shoot towards like a direction to kind of tell you where to go. And you know, once you get a victory, they'll like teabag the boss or the ground or whatever. It's just such a fun, kick-ass game. I love it so much.
That was actually some like talking about the random generation and stuff. Like that's something even we ran across. Like I played the first time I played the game, I actually had gotten in and installed it right after you did, and you'd already been playing with Frost for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. Like I joined in. We did a couple of the bosses. It was actually early on in the game. Like we did the little rolling boss, and then we did the dragon, which was the last one I closed out the night on. And then we got to the dragon on my playthrough, and I was like, wait a minute, we skipped a boss. And then we ran into like 2 other bosses that nobody else had seen. So we're just like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's so dope in that way. Like it's really cool. Like I never really seen a game do like kind of like their design that way. Like I know random generation is a thing, but to totally like kind of in a way lock out bosses, but it's not like you're angry about it. It's like, okay, cool, I didn't get this boss, so hopefully, you know, the next playthrough I could get this boss, or at least when I join a friend I can get this boss. And it's awesome because it pushes you to play more.
Well, yeah, and then that's the big thing that like kind of like the hidden fruit of this whole thing, right? Is because the different bosses also give you the different perks or traits when you beat them.
Yeah.
So that changes how every player, like you'll meet every player and they won't have the same traits. Basically.
Yeah, that's another beauty about this game is that like there's so much diversity with builds. Like you could have so many different perks and weapons and abilities from people, and like the way you build your character too can be like totally different. Like you can kind of build your guy as like sort of like a tank or a support or like DPS. Like it's wild. It's awesome.
So yeah, Hendo and I are interacting with Montenegro in chat about Outer Wilds, and I'm also waiting for a Steam release. But damn,
No, he's asking about Outer Worlds.
Outer
What do we
Worlds?
think about it?
Yeah.
I'm definitely hyped for it.
Obsidians.
Oh, I'm excited for both Outer Worlds and Outer Wilds.
Yeah, Outer
I
Wilds.
hate that their names are so similar.
They're the
Yeah,
same.
it's
It's the
yeah,
same
it's a
name.
horrible naming convention. But Outer Worlds, yeah, that's the Obsidian game, the makers of the best Fallout, New Vegas.
I'm hyped for it. I'm looking forward to it. It looks just artwork. It looks beautiful. I know artwork alone, you know, is not going to be enough to make it a solid game. But like, if they can pull off what they did with New Vegas, I'm sold. You've got my money. So
narrative freedom is all I'm looking for.
exactly.
That's all I want. The narrative freedom, the freedom to just have like 5-6 different endings depending on your choices. That's all I want. Because they're not focusing on any of that big world, 16 times the detail crap. They're like, no, we're making a world where you can just make decisions.
Talking about a big game with big decisions, like in the game we're going to be trying to play next weekend is Man of Medan.
Man of Medan, yeah.
Or Medan. God, I am so excited for that because that's another like Until Dawn style game, but it's also co-op and also has like 10 different endings you can unlock, which I'm super stoked about.
Yeah, God, this fall is gonna be crazy. It's like it's starting already, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like Control. Like this week, it's just Control, and Man of Medan, and then there's like Gears. There's like 3 games in that first week of September.
Yeah,
there's another game that popped up recently that I'm actually kind of piqued my interest. Probably going on the wish list. Ashes of Oahu.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Wednesday. I remember.
Yeah, I took a look at it, and it's actually looking really good. It's basically for all you guys who have kids or nieces and nephews that watch a lot of Disney movies. You ever see the movie Moana? Okay, now take Maui and throw him in Far Cry with the shape-shifting abilities. It's actually pretty dope. It's like a post-apocalyptic Hawaiian island setup. Like the U.S. is gone. It's the mainland's just whatever.
Thank God.
And the islands all have like different warring governments and stuff. And somebody's trying to do their own kind of like Chi Castro deal on Oahu, and you gotta use the power of your ancestors to shape shift and kick their ass.
Yeah, there's so much to that.
Yeah, it'll take
I'm
a
with
really rich world, and you know, I have family from the Hawaiian Islands and stuff, the Maui Island to be specific, and so I kind of like it. It kind of speaks to me culturally.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It seems really deep with like the RPG mechanics and everything.
Yeah.
Graphically, it definitely reminds me a lot of Far Cry.
Yeah, and it kind of has like the same aspect of like Maui does in the Moana movie. Like he has that cool shape shifting ability. Where you can just become like a cool like hawk or like a spider monkey and just mess somebody up real quick.
I think we do have a review key for that too.
Oh.
So we might be seeing it here soon. Let's get going on some of the news.
Don't throw at me with a fun times a lot.
Chicho, actually, I want you to have this one. This is our first update today, which I think is actually pretty fun. It's fun, but also heartbreaking at the same time.
It's a dub and an L at the same time.
On Monday, Sony came out and announced that they have acquired Insomniac Game Studio. So this comes by way of Kotaku. I feel like this was like a weird, like a weird one, but a cool one, because it's like, you know, Insomniac has done Sony games for so long, and they almost really feel like a Sony company, and now they finally are. So Sony purchased the California-based game studio Insomniac Games, best known for last year's Spider-Man on PS4 and Ratchet and Clank and all that stuff. Insomniac will become an exclusive PlayStation developer, Sony says. And yeah, they worked on Ratchet and Clank, and Sunset Overdrive was the Xbox game that they did. And of course, Spider-Man PS4 went on to sell 13.2 million copies, the best-selling PlayStation game or PlayStation exclusive game. So yeah, I think that's really, really cool news. Can't wait for Spider-Man 2 whenever that comes out.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that to come out. I couldn't get enough of that game. I played through all of it and some. Like the first half of it was on stream, the other half wasn't, but it was great.
Yeah, I still need to beat it myself.
Sony's just making some solid chess moves when it comes to Spider-Man. They're like, we got this IP.
Except Sony's failing in other aspects.
Yeah, they got. Well, it's Sony. They're always gonna fail in other aspects.
Well, me and Chichi talked about this on the stream the other night, and it was just like part of it like makes sense to why they did what they did with the MCU, just as on a side off-road topic for this one, but at the same time, it's like they were asking for pretty reasonable. They gave them a kickstart, gave them basically all this production stuff for basically next to nothing, like pennies on the dollar, and producers, and helped them produce the whole thing, which basically made this Spider-Man actually a good Spider-Man for once. I mean, Tom Holland obviously kicks it out of the park too, knocks it out of the park just by himself, but the fact that most of the stuff was produced and done by Feige, like made it the different, made it the brand it is now for Spider-Man, at least in this generation.
Well, that's arguable, because regardless of the quality of the Sam Raimi movies, they are part of the reason why we have an MCU.
Well, yeah.
The original Spider-Man franchise is one of the main reasons we have an MCU. Let's be for real.
Oh yeah.
So Sony has done Sony built the brand by taking those IPs, Sony and Fox with X-Men and Spider-Man, but then Marvel and Disney have been perfecting it. So you could say Feige has refined it in a better way, but then, Sony is also making their own moves, like Into the Spider-Verse, like we talked on my stream. Like Sony has.
But that wasn't solely Sony either, though. That was
also
Marvel
co-produced
that one.
Help with that one.
So that wasn't
Yeah,
just
Yeah, I remember hearing
I
about that.
thought a lot of the stuff was in house in Sony. It was just Marvel production on it.
the animation studio was not the production of the actual like content. Like the animation
Okay.
stuff and all that was done, and even some of the voiceovers, most of the voiceovers I think were all them, but the actual
Well,
story and all that stuff part came from the MCU stuff.
And I can't blame Sony for wanting to keep Disney at arm's length in general, because you look at the hostile takeovers the past couple of years Disney's been involved in. Sony's been pretty protective, and that goes all the way back to like the 90s with their music. They've always been extremely
Sony's they're super protective of their IP.
They're the Japanese Sony. They're the Japanese Disney. So you got two giants.
the same company.
Yeah, basically they're the same company, just one Pacific. Just different sides of the Pacific.
I kind of just wish Disney would just go and buy back the rights if they could.
Yeah, me too. Just buy.
I think there's a contractual reason they can't do that.
Also,
it's time still though.
Like I fully believe.
Well, also with the Marvel properties in general, there also is a tertiary fight going on with the Lee estate, because there is a bunch of stuff that's come to light with Sony and Disney's treatment of Mr. Lee. So it's a big quagmire right now in general.
Yeah, this whole situation is just so petty.
Well, they made so much damn money off this franchise that come on, there's no reason that anyone wouldn't try to get a piece of it.
Well, it's not that they're trying to get a piece of it; they're trying to get a fair share of it at this point.
Yeah.
It really is the only real original property that Disney's really messing with right now. Like everything else has been breakthrough from somebody else.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
For the most part, almost everything it was already established.
Just saying, Star Wars is
9 movies, but that already had 6 movies and several specials and 3 animated series under one studio before they bought it.
Right.
It was established for decades.
But Disney's also still been involved with Star Wars for a long time.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of Disney money's gone into it, but creative control has never been Disney's until recently.
Well, yeah, until they screwed it up, and then they were like, "Whoops, got to Ex Machina Palpatine back into this so that it's good."
Yeah, well, we can do a Disney rant is a whole other Midas, and I'm sure.
I know.
All right, anyway, let's get back on track.
Let's move on. Can I take dibs on this one?
What, Kerbal?
On our next, yes, please.
Go for it.
So, okay. I come from a school where the only games that we had on our school laptops, they were these crappy little Linux laptops, were Binding of Isaac and Kerbal Space Program. And those were the only 2 games that were able to run on these tiny laptops. So Kerbal Space Program 2 being announced is a huge thing for me. I'll go through the website right now. They've got new onboarding, so new UI, fully revamped instructions, etc. And that's a great thing considering that the current Kerbal is a little outdated, for lack of a better term. Then they have new tech with new engines, parts, fuel, etc., which I'm very excited for. Stuff that you used to have to mod in now is going to be base game. Colonies. Oh man. You have no idea how excited I am for colonies. Physics challenges. You've got to do resource management with them. Interstellar travel, which is just huge. New celestial bodies. A super Earth with relentless gravity. A binary system. And then multiplayer is coming. They're going to be able to. You're going to launch rockets with your best friends. That is unbelievably cool to me.
That's the biggest feature to me, I think, because like multiplayer is like a key thing for me anymore.
And so I'm very, very much looking forward to Kerbal Space Program 2. They also look like they upgraded the graphics up to modern standards. I really, as long as they don't screw this up, which I have the feeling they could, but they probably won't. If they don't screw this up, this could be quite possibly one of the best games to come out in 2020. And I'm saying that knowing full well that Cyberpunk is coming out the same year. And so I'm so ready for Kerbal.
Different genres, different types of games. So.
Still. I stand by my statement. It could possibly be one of the best games to come out that year.
Well, and then you're also versus nostalgia versus hype machine.
Yeah.
Exactly. If they could, it's what I've been waiting for a long time. If they could
Nostalgia
take,
usually wins though, so Midas has a pretty good bet.
yeah, if they could take what they did with the original Kerbal, which was already such a fantastic game, and turn it into modern graphics, modern standards, new features, but still all the same old features that they had in Kerbal Space Program, the original, it's gonna be a moneymaker for them. That thing's gonna pour money into their studio because it's just gonna be so good.
Even
ready.
one made a ton of money off of
Exactly.
off of just the Kickstarter. Then they did the independent sales. When I bought it, it was only $10. Now it's not.
Right.
It's like $50 or $60 with all the
It's $24.99, and then the expansion makes it $60. But consider also, we're a bunch of gamers, but people that work at SpaceX and people that work in Hawthorne play this game. They actively play this game when they're not working. One of my friends works at SpaceX and says that they have to stop people from playing this game when they should be working. So, it's one of those things where if they could really do this properly, they've got a huge IP on their hands. It's going to be so valuable.
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of it'll come back. It'll be the build back up once they, because they'll have modding support and all that fun stuff again.
Yeah.
And then once people start really building into it again, they start enhancing it even more. I mean, at first it'll be lacking a little bit, I think, at first, and then it'll just come out like the first game where it just expanded into gold.
Right. And fast too. People hop on Kerbal so fast.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's all. I just wanted. I'm so excited for that game. I love it.
It's a good one.
I'm looking forward to it as well. I never played the original Kerbal, but I've seen lots of gameplay of it, and it just looks like a crazy good time. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Oh yeah.
I've had conversations with a drunk Drayden playing Kerbal Space Station. It's always been entertaining.
I've seen Drayden, Zarvox. I've even seen Mittens play it a few times. It's great. Like my first couple days in it, I lost days from that game when I first got it.
Yeah, me too. I what I did was I built up a huge space station in orbit with fuel and resources, and I had a mod that added these spinning habitats, and then I immediately slapped an engine on the back of it and deorbited it. And then it was 4 days of work, and I just deorbited the whole thing, and I was just like, well, that was fun. Now I'm not going to play it until the next one comes out. So.
Well, was it accidental or purposeful?
No, it was intentional. I spent 4 days building up the space station. I have been playing it for years.
Look at that face. You know it was intentional.
It was intentional. Come on. You see this plush here? This is not my plush. I stole this plush. It still understands. It still knows.
No, that's not even a plush. That's a real Pokemon, people. That's a real Pokemon. He went and found, he killed it, and taxidermied it.
I killed it. Taxidermied it.
Oh man. On our next topic, this one I'm actually especially excited for. Gears of War 5 is actually coming out, we all know, for Steam for the first time. And with the Steam release, it's going to support Windows 7, which is something that the Gears games haven't done on the last couple PC releases. They've all come out with needing the latest and greatest Windows 10 and everything else. And then this one, they actually started out Windows 7 Service Pack 1, not 2, 1. And
Gears 5 is just weird to me right now.
You only need an i3 to run it.
Well, I mean, they got a random Terminator movie tie-in.
Oh yeah,
going back to Windows
7.
What is their marketing? The Windows 7, I kind of understand because people like going back to having a retro break because Windows 7 to some people was the perfect OS. But
I feel like their marketing scheme is to try and do what Devolver did, which is just, we're going to put so much stuff into this marketing scheme that nobody's going to know what the marketing scheme is, which is the joke. That's the joke.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like look at Mortal Kombat with all this random IPs that are thrown into it for characters, and I'm just that's what I'm actually kind of tired of seeing random characters in. I want a pure Mortal Kombat game. I don't want to play as the Terminator. I don't want to play as what was the other silly one? Jason Voorhees.
Play as the Terminator.
Whoa. Are you saying that playing Yoda in Soul Calibur wasn't the shit?
That was stupid. That was stupid.
The jump. Are you saying the jump attack? That every move is an attack. Yoda in Soul Calibur wasn't the shit.
No, it was
you
shit.
Can just jump over people and win every match.
It was no, it was not my favorite.
It was so goofy.
I just loved how a jump was an attack.
Well, see so I don't understand is they'll go and make Injustice, the Injustice series, and it'll be fine. And they won't put any extra random characters in it, but they go do Mortal Kombat. They're like, oh yeah, let's just throw in everybody in this. Fuck it, let's just go.
Well, Justice, I remember they had Hellboy. They even put Joker in there. But I mean, those are
characters. Those are DC characters, though.
Yeah,
well,
those.
actually,
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. I meant I think did they put Scorpion in there or something like that?
Oh well, yeah. That's the one crossover character. But that makes sense. Like if you're going from Injustice to Marvel or Mortal Kombat, that makes sense. But not like go to Mortal Kombat and just like, oh, I want to bring these like 5 random character IP, movie IPs in here and just.
Well, I think Soul Calibur was like the #1 offender of that because they were just random.
Yeah, a lot of them were.
Like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII ended up in Soul Calibur one time. I was like, what?
I mean, I feel like that's the thing now. We see a lot of these crossovers. I mean, it is better if they make sense, of course. Like I think the Halo stuff for Gears makes sense, but it's like I don't mind Terminator as much as it doesn't make sense. I think it's still badass.
Look, I'm just saying they should, with Alien still being a thing, it should have been like an Alien and Locust make more sense than Alien and than Locust and Terminator.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still with the Terminator. I like the Terminator.
I just think it's a weird fit. I just think it's a weird fit.
It's a weird fit for sure, but I'm
Gears,
just like
it just makes no sense.
It's only the upside. It's only in one mode. It's only in one game
unless
mode.
you try to do like some weird stretchy metaphor, like the Locust came from within the planet, the Terminators came from within our technology. If you try to do like some crazy existential philosophy bullcrap like that, maybe.
It's just for the multiplayer. It's not like a part of the campaign or anything like that.
Yeah, I know. It was just a weird franchise it's like 2 franchises. It's just like you got stuff that explodes. That's about it, and humanity's kind of screwed. It's not even the same planet. Isn't like Gears of War on like a completely different planet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's Earth, right? I thought it was supposed to be Earth.
No. It's some different planet.
Oh.
It's like some whole other thing. It's like if Europe was a planet.
I think the story is a little bit like Mass Effect-y in that they go out to colonize other planets, and then this one planet they find the Locust.
Yeah, it's like their planet's supposed to be like a lost colony.
I thought it was
random planet.
I thought it was alternate reality, like Earth kind of thing.
It's a different planet. I vaguely remember the Game Informer from like 2005 about it. It's supposed to be like some weird whole other planet, not supposed to be Earth.
All right.
It was like it was because they were competing with Killzone and Halo at the time, so they were just like it has to be a different planet. It can't be Earth.
The next big update, Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Finally, after waiting, I think almost 5 years now, is finally got an early access release date, which I'm not excited about the early access part of it, but it makes the most sense because the last Mountain Blade game was in early access for I think a year and a half or 2 years before it was.
Not excited about the early access part about it, but I'm excited about the release date part of it.
Yeah, the fact that it's actually got a release date, we could actually play it at some point early next year.
And unlike some other games that have gone to early access, we kind of know that this isn't going to be crap because there has been the past 2 years, people have been sharing footage of Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. So we know it's decent. They've even allowed modding in this early stage. So I've seen some like Game of Thrones mods that I'm super excited for this. Because I like playing my Mountain Blade modded. I don't know. I think it's so much better when they add like an awesome narrative.
Yeah.
Besides, like just it's Eastern Europe and everything sucks.
Yeah, I love this game for the pure fact that you could go and just like build an army. There was politics. There's RPG elements. Then you could go and just raid a fortress and then just like take it over, or a town or whatever have you. And you get to gear up your dudes. You do everything. It was great. I'm looking forward to
Eastern Europe. Everything sucks.
Basically.
Yeah, Warband was fun because you were actually able to like do like a whole campaign. You're actually able to go from fortress to fortress to fortress and kind of conquer the map, if you will.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool about it. Like that one had me really excited when they finally had it. The next one is actually another big story, which is kind of funny coming off of the summer's Stranger Things. Dead by Daylight is going to be having a Stranger Things DLC, which the Demogorgon's going to be the killer. And it's Steve and Nancy that are going to be the two survivors that you get out of it, which is awesome. Which is kind of weird it's those two, but I guess it makes the most sense for those two.
Listen, Steve and Nancy, they're cool. I'm with Steve and Nancy.
Yeah.
Okay, my only issue is it's gonna be a reskin, or are they actually gonna do some fun mechanics? Like, is the Demigorgon actually gonna go through like its metamorphosis stages and crap? Like, we gonna have some fun with this?
I hope so.
I think it's just the adult one, but I think he has a portal mechanic where he goes through, like, jumps through different portals, like the trees and stuff in certain maps.
I've only seen the first season, so I'm hoping that it's not spoilerific for whatever reason.
This looks like the first season because it looks like Steve and Nancy are still together the way that the trailer was cut. I'm
Midas.
so hyped for this.
Yeah.
Midas, we both read SCPs. The whole show's already spoiled for us. We know everything in the show.
Why you gotta play me like that, man?
We know everything. Like, literally, you're gonna be like, oh, that's SCP-3.
I was sitting there watching the first episode. I was like, wow, I didn't know the Foundation existed back in 1990.
Yup, it basically is. Hawken is just an SCP subsidiary. I don't care what
Yeah.
he said.
Nah, I'm with you. All right. Well, I clowned myself then. But yeah, I've only seen the first season. But I'm you know what? I've never played Dead by Daylight. I've wanted to for a long time. This might be what gets me into it.
Oh yeah, this I think this definitely will. It's a really fun game, and it's like it's really cool because with the way they build like the survivors and the killers, there's a lot of like build diversity with like the perks you can add and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's pretty.
And it's also fun to like scream at your friends the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Stranger Things mod. It's only gonna be two. It's only gonna be two versus the one killer, or are they gonna actually have the full squad?
4v1.
Okay, because I was about to say, because I only heard you mentioned two characters, guys.
Well, it's just two characters for this DLC, yeah.
Oh, so they only aren't there like 6 in Stranger Things?
There is.
There's
I think this is
4.
Well, there's like 8, but if you really count them all, but it's really like, well, they took the oldest kids out of the bunch.
Yeah, they don't
so
want the freaking kids to get killed on this.
Oh, come on!
No fun.
Oh
So
man.
They probably ran into some legal trouble with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Just age him 5. Just use it like a character model that's like 5 years older and put him in the same outfit. Like, anybody's going to care.
All right. Move on.
Going on in the random gaming industry news. Got a little segment today that's actually just gaming industry news. Echo Fox leaves the league LCS after the proposed sale falls through of Echo Fox, which is actually kind of a big deal because they've been basically a cornerstone of the LCS for, I want to say, the better part of like 5 or 6 years. And this all comes like back from the drama that happened earlier this year with Rick Fox and one of the investors, and the investor's not backing down. Doesn't want to get out. And then they've been trying, like, even the league got in and they're like, hey, you either got to do something or like you're not going to be a part of this. And sure enough, that's what happened. LCS commissioner kicked them out of the LCS. They gave up their slot for somebody else, and they're trying to find another team to take that over. But the crazy big thing that's like finally happened, and it's taken a while too. But Echo Fox leaving the LCS is like one of those big things. Like, they're always a part of it, one of the big competing teams and everything. And that them losing that also is going to mean probably a cascade and other things too.
They're the only team I know. Like straight up, they're the only team that I know. And now they're gone. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a big one. Like, especially because they're, like I said, they're like a cornerstone. They were one of the starting ones for the big LCS part of it when they finally went out. I mean, there's still Liquid, there's Cloud9, there's what's the other ones? I'm trying to remember what the other teams are. Or I don't watch League as much because it's just not as interesting to me personally.
I saw there was a great documentary on Netflix about what it takes to make a league tournament, and they had Echo Fox in it, and that's the only reason I know Echo Fox. And they seemed like they were doing well, But I guess, just looking at what's going on, scrolling down on this PC Gamer article, Echo Fox ownership sought a restraining order against co-founder Rick Fox. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's messy.
that's
It's
some
messy,
gnarly
super messy.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all Rick's. Like, it's Rick Fox's team, original team.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy that all this is happening. So to go on in some of the teams that are still left, it's 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Clutch Gaming, Counter Logic Gaming, which actually a friend of mine worked for, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, which I've never heard of, Optic Gaming, Team Liquid, and TSM. And those are all still the existing teams now that Echo Fox has left. So there's still quite a bit that's still there, but yeah, filling that slot's not going to be easy, I'm sure. This next one, I don't know if you guys want to take one of this one. This one I was really surprised on because I didn't got a review key for this game, and then I didn't know that it's basically bombed because of it. This whole thing. So the Ion Fury had to apologize for sexist and transphobic comments out of their Discord by one of their moderators. I don't think it was a dev team person. I think they were labeled as dev, but it was just because it was an in-house moderator. And it went on for like almost a whole evening, and then people screenshotted every little bits of this convo and put it up online, and then it just blew up. Like, it basically has tanked Ion Fury, which really is really sad because the game itself is good. It plays just like the old Duke Nukem 3D, like stuff like that, like those really old, like early mid to late 90s games. And yeah, this thing is kind of blown up. I don't want to go like in too crazy detail about it because it's kind of sensitive, but like you can read about it in the Kotaku article here. It's just there's so much in this too, and it all happened within like a day.
Ooh, wow! I do not like any of these.
No, the last one, kind of going off of the whole LCS thing, League of Legends, is Riot Games has finally settled their class action lawsuit against gender discrimination, which is actually a really big deal earlier in the beginning part of this year. Like, this one was just like crazy, like how so many reports of like the employees, males and females being harassed in different ways. Like the whole bro code kind of thing that was going on is just really strange.
Yeah, I remember they did that walkout too, and how big that was.
Both of these are very strange.
Well, the class action lawsuit, this is an ongoing one.
Yeah. But like, shit, I don't know, man. I try to stay out of these things because it's like one of those things that personally affects me, and if I read too deep into them, I'll start to get really upset about it. So I had no idea what was going on with Riot Games, and I definitely had no idea what was going on with Ion Fury.
The Ion Fury one just blew up this week, but the Riot one's been going on for about 9 months now. Yeah. So we'll move on.
All right. Let's move on from that. Yeah.
So let's go into our next segment of Tutu's weekly deals and cool stuff.
Yeah, Tutu, I wrote this out as easily.
Is that the official title for it now?
Yeah, it's there.
Cool
it's weekly Tutu's weekly deals and cool stuff.
All right. So there's a sale on GTA 5 over on Steam. GTA, well, I believe this is on consoles as well. I'll go and check later, but you can get GTA 5 the premium edition, which I believe the premium just comes with bonuses for online. For
these are all Steam. Tutu.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. For $19.98, 50% off, and then GTA 5 just the normal edition for $14.99. What is KSP?
Kerbal Space Program.
Kerbal Space Program.
Oh, okay. Kerbal Space Program. You can get that 75% off right now, so it's $9.99. No Man's Sky is 50% off at $29.99. Elite Dangerous is 70% off at $8.99. Anno 2205 is 75% off at $9.99. Super Hot, 60% off, $9.99.
Quick note on the Super Hot. So, a little history on Super Hot between me and Tutu. That's actually how I met Tutu. Was
That's
actually through.
That's funny.
I watched a stream randomly when he was playing Super Hot because I wanted to know more about the game, and I had just started streaming. I don't know, maybe a few months before that.
Yeah,
and then
that's a lot of fun. I've been thinking about picking it up on Switch. I really would love to play it on VR.
I was about to say I'm about to crack out the VR headset.
It's a lot of fun on VR.
And
anyway, sorry.
note on if we're doing notes on Elite Dangerous, they just released their or they just revealed their new update coming in December. They've introduced fleet carriers, which are just huge ships that carry an entire squadron of ships, like something like 14 ships, and you can buy them as a player. They're player owned. And they're like capital class ships. So if you are in any way interested in purchasing yourself a capital class ship, go play Elite Dangerous now. Get on the grind before December comes out.
That's awesome. I'm super stoked
And
about that.
the last two, Planet Coaster is 70% off for $13.49, and Borderlands: The Handsome Collection at 93% off for $14.97. And it says from $229. So
I don't understand how that. Oh, it's because all the separate DLCs.
Everything.
Yeah.
DLCs.
So it's kind of getting to our big top story for today. Also, this Gamescom news. Like, man, there is a stupid amount of data for the Gamescom. Like, I feel like Gamescom was almost bigger than E3 this year in terms of news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. If not just as big, definitely much so. Yeah.
So, Tuji, you go on the Nintendo one.
Okay, so I'll quickly go through this one because this was just Nintendo had a presentation on Monday morning for like all their new indie titles coming to the Switch. Like Super Hot came, and there's like Risk of Rain 2 is coming to Switch as well.
That's exciting.
I think, yeah, that's really exciting. I love that game, and to have it on the go is going to be so dope. I'm definitely going to put in a lot more hours into it. But I'll link this article in the chat in a little bit. The most notable thing I will say is Ori and the Blind Forest is coming to Switch as a part of the continuation between Microsoft and Nintendo's relationship. So I never played the original, and I feel bad for skipping out on it because it's such a beautiful game, and I've heard great things about it. But I'm so excited to finally pick it up on Switch this fall. But yeah, there's a ton of indie games coming to Switch, so I'll put this in chat. A lot of them look really, really good. Most excited for Risk of Rain 2 and Ori. Super Hot came out. The Hotline Miami collection is out too, which I want to get it, but so much money. Spending all this damn money.
Well, like just in the first like couple weeks, there's already like just too many games that are coming out, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy that like on the next one though, we're saving a little bit of money, so that's good. So going off that, the Inside Xbox had their big thing at Gamescom too, and they actually released a bunch of new news for the stuff that's coming out on the Xbox Game Pass. And some of these I'm actually really excited for. Like one of them is like a couple of these especially. Like Devil May Cry 5 just came out already with along with Stellaris Console Edition. Also the Age of Empires 1 and 2 definitive editions. Bard's Tale Director's Cut. Yeah, on PC too. Like these are for both the I think almost all of these titles are both console and PC side of the Game Pass. The other one that I was personally excited for because I was going to buy the game anyway was Blair Witch is also going to be coming on the new Game Pass. Like this coming out next 2 weeks or next week. Well. Yeah, next week actually. I think next week. And then Humans Fall Flat on both sides. And then the Gears Pop came out for iOS. And then there's a bunch of other missed news. There's so much to go through on this. I mean, even the new Metro Exodus stuff came out on there. Actually, that's a game I wanted to play, but I didn't want to play it on Epic. But I could play it on the Game Pass for free, so...
Epic Games Launcher bad!
Well, it's not even that. I didn't want to buy it on Epic. I'll play it on something else if I don't have to pay for it.
I kind of concur with that, though.
I don't use the Epic Launcher for anything but Satisfactory, but I also don't care about using the Epic Games Launcher for a game that I like. It's like if the game is on the Epic Launcher and I want to play the game, I'm gonna go play the game. I don't care. I'm just sorry. There's nothing. I don't see anything wrong with it. If that's what the game is on, then that's what the game is on. I'm gonna just play the game on that platform.
Well, unless it's coming out for something else, like Steam stuff later.
That's
a
little too generalized of the situation. Like Satisfactory, no issues. The games that come out as exclusives from the get-go, no issue. My issue with Epic is that they're making retroactive exclusive deals with games that I do have a problem with, and pushing releases on other platforms back because they want to have the year-long exclusive. That's my issue.
I
with
agree.
Epic.
I agree. I think that's a little that's
moving on,
really
though.
scummy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is totally. We've talked about that.
Yeah,
more
we've
than
way
five,
too
five
many
or six
times.
times. Yeah.
It's beat to death. Let's keep moving.
The next one, I'm actually not too excited about. I guess anymore. Like the more I'm finding out about Stadia, the less I'm interested. Like
I agree.
because they're creating it as a new platform, but only like almost next to nothing has become what is it called? It's cross-platform. So you can't play it on PC. You can't play it on.
Yeah.
I get it with consoles. It's kind of becoming its own little thing, and I don't like that. Especially now that crossplay is becoming like a bigger thing on the main platforms.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that could save Stadia, at least for me, I'm not trying to say that it's going to flop or whatever, but is cross play or cross save of some sort, because like it's going to have such a small install base. Like there's not going to be many people that get it. Like honestly, at launch, at least the people that get it at launch are the brave souls that are going to test this for everyone else. So that's like really weird to me that it's its own separate thing,
Yeah, and the big announcement for it is they got Cyberpunk that's coming on it at launch. Orcs Must Die 3.
Really cool.
It'll also come with Borderlands 3, I don't know how to pronounce that. Darksiders Genesis, Mortal Kombat 11, Super Hot, and a whole slew of other games. A lot of them are actually big games. Even ESO, Watch Dogs Legion, Attack on Titan 2. And then just the remake of Destroy All Humans. They've got a lot of good games and potential coming up, but if they don't have some kind of like cross play or cross save for cloud, I don't know. When I think of the cloud gaming services, I think of like GeForce Now, like where you could open up your games and you play them on multiple platforms from your standard logins that you're already using. But this is just like, I don't know.
I think Google is clowning around, and I think that they are going to have cloud save because they've got the ability to do it.
Well, they're doing cloud save, but not cross save, which with your existing cloud.
That's what I'm saying. Is they should be able to do cross platform. Like, there's no reason that they shouldn't be able to do that. And I fully believe that they're just clowning around, and then it's going to be like, oh, by the way, we have this, and it's just going to be like, oh, okay, sounds good to me.
A lot of other news, big on just the generalized Gamescom announcements. We talked about a few of them already. KSP 2. There's Little Nightmares 2 is also coming out. I'm actually really excited for that one because the Little Nightmares game was so good.
Man, I never played it, but it's like one of those right up my alley. I just never played, but I'm really excited for this.
Yeah. Another thing that was actually kind of a big announcement, which I was really surprised for, was Magic the Gathering Arena, which is also becoming a huge esports game, by the way. Like in the last 6 months, 8 months, it's become a huge thing.
Whoa! They're
bringing it to Epic.
Magic?
Yeah. So Magic the Gathering Arena is going to Epic in this winter with one of the expansions that's going to come out, and that's kind of interesting. I thought that was a very different one. Iron Harvest. I don't know which one this one is. It's getting released next weekend.
Oh, Iron Harvest is a Diesel Punk RTS.
Oh, okay. Witcher 3, we got the Wild Hunt for Nintendo Switch. Got a release date finally.
Yes.
We skipped over Comanche.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Roll it back here, man. We skipped over Comanche. You can't be playing me like that, man.
Where is Comanche?
It's right above
Little Nightmares.
Oh,
the way they kind of laid this out is a little weird.
Yeah, it's the way they parted out. I was looking for the headline parts. Comanche is also coming out. The classic helicopter warfare series Comanche's last seen in 2001. God, that's been a long time. It's going to go to alpha beta testing and be available in early access in 2020. Iron Harvest is a big thing. Switcher Disintegration was actually probably one of the coolest games I think I saw.
Yeah, that looked cool. That looked really cool.
That looked really cool.
From an indie studio, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's got like a mix between like a Gears and Destiny vibe to some degree.
Yeah.
Ooh. Can I take the Kojima?
Go for it.
Oh, so Hideo Kojima is I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's just kind of like, here, take some Death Stranding stuff. And also, I'm Hideo Kojima, please buy my game. I have no idea what's going on with the story. It doesn't make any sense.
Nobody knows what is going on with this.
Nobody knows what's going on with the story. I don't even think Kojima knows what's going on with the story. But all I know is this game looks amazing. I think the gameplay is going to look amazing, considering it has a quote urinate mechanic unquote. And I fully believe that Kojima is just playing with us at this point. He knows what we want, and he's not going to give it to us. And then as soon as is like ready, he's going to be like, "This is what Death Stranding is. This is what it's about. This is what the game is." You know, it's going to be like Metal Gear Solid 3, where shit just happens. But like, I fully and completely believe that Death Stranding is going to be one of the greatest games that Kojima ever puts out.
Oh yeah, he's gone full Kojima here, which is awesome.
Oh my god! And you know, I'm really getting Metal Gear Solid 3 vibes from it. In that except it's kind of the reverse of Metal Gear Solid 3, where in Metal Gear Solid 3 he was like, I'm gonna play with it a little bit, but we're still gonna take it seriously. In this one, he's like, we're taking it seriously, but we're totally gonna play with it.
Yeah.
So I very much look forward to this game.
No, I think it's going to be good. It's going to be. It's definitely one of those things. I think where Kojima's definitely going to kind of prove himself after the big split with Konami.
Yeah. Oh, also, Jeff I can't even say
Jeff
his
Knightley.
last name is in. Jeff Knightley's in the game. But that we kind of saw this coming, considering
They're like best friends, I think.
They're like best friends. Yeah. It's and you know what? I would not be surprised if Mads showed up somewhere in there.
He's
right.
in the game.
Yeah, he's in the game. Mads is in the game.
Yeah,
is he in the game? Is he in the game?
He's like, I think he's like supposed to be the villain character, pretty much.
Yeah, or at least he kind of
Yeah.
came
No,
off.
I think listen. Mads being the villain character. Congratulations, you typecast Mads again. But like, still, I very much look forward to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, and then for the rest of
Get your stuff.
this, there's
I'm still loud, but go get your stuff.
there's a lot of cool stuff in this article if you haven't checked it out. Aside of that, like, I don't know, it kind of raises the question: could Gamescom become a bigger thing than E3? Because it seems like every year Gamescom has jumped a substantial amount versus like E3. It kind of seems like it's stagnating and getting smaller. Like, I don't know what's Gamescom is doing that's pulling all these developers into making Gamescom a bigger show, because every year it gets bigger. Like, I didn't even expect half of this stuff to be announced at Gamescom, which is, it's kind of like another PAX to me. Like, at least the way they market it and everything. And
well, what's the cost to developers for showcasing there? That's usually what attracts them.
Yeah, I would think it's a lot cheaper. That's probably the reason why.
I agree.
Probably, yeah. Well, versus E3, where they like price gouge everything to get people into the LA Convention Center, which is like my least favorite.
Developers really see of that? They probably don't see crap.
Yeah, so I don't know.
They're probably paying out the butt for, we've seen some of the displays that some of the guys have at E3. How much money do you think they're spending on that?
Right.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm sure it costs like I went to E3 this year and it was so weird. Like, just it was cool, but it was weird just to see how much smaller it's gotten over the years. Like the West Hall, I remember we used to have like Nintendo and Sony and a bunch of other stuff, and now it was pretty much just all Nintendo and just a little bit of indie developers there, and then a hell of a lot of dead space like around Nintendo and all of the indie devs there. It was really well.
That's because like weird. Yeah, Sony and
not the game,
Sony and EA, or Sony and somebody else.
EA, Microsoft too. They pulled out.
That's right, pulled out.
I mean, they're still there at E3. They do have their presentation, but their games are in their own like studio or whatever near LA.
Yeah, so they definitely, it seems like EA is going to have to either clean up their act and get everything back to where it used to be and stop price gouging these developers for showing off this, or it's just going to eventually kill the show. Because like, I think I like the news that came out of Gamescom almost better. Like, we got a lot of good news out of E3 this year because it was stuff we didn't know about. But like a lot of the news on everything else that's come out has been way better at Gamescom this year than anything else. I mean, and then we saw PAX next weekend too.
And games expos are just picking up every year, so E3 has competition
and better parts of the year.
Gamescom and all the other smaller cons, they're
Tokyo
all
Game Show is another one that's coming up
there.
Oh yeah, Tokyo Game Show, PAX West is coming out next weekend.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those gonna be big shows. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping we get a lot more information than what we have right now. But I'm a gamer. I'm always fiending for information, but like, I feel like what we got from this Gamescom was definitely much bigger than E3, because E3 they kind of are just like, hey, by the way, we're making this game, instead of, hey, by the way, here's a bunch of information for this game.
Yeah.
And I feel like at Gamescom they were like, we're actually going to give you some real information on the stuff that you want to hear about, rather than just drop a cool trailer on you and then leave.
Yeah.
And then also with E3, everything leaks all the time, every year.
Yes, yes, that's true.
Most of the announcements leak, and here it was like legit surprises.
Oh,
yeah.
Which was
Gamescom was just like, what's going to happen next?
Oh,
what is happening there?
There was one article I did miss for the Epic's Games announcements.
Ooh,
Was
yeah, I was looking at that.
MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries got pulled over to Epic last minute, also pulling another Metro Exodus. Very, very late. They've been pre-selling on Steam for like 6 months now. And all of a sudden now they're going on Epic as an exclusive for the first part of the year, which really sucks. So MTG Arena we talked about. Oddworld Soulstorm is another one that I don't understand why it's going to Epic, because Microsoft has them.
People not to give them crap.
Oh, that was that's right. That's the other one.
Yeah, I'm looking at that article right now. Actually, I was just looking at it. Yeah, now the developers who are last minute switching over to Epic don't want you to get mad at them because they screw your pre-order.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like asking people, don't give us shit for going to Epic. Like, well, no, we're gonna give you shit for going to Epic if you do it in a bad way.
Right.
Yeah,
if you
like,
just
pre-order
done it
your game on
originally,
Steam, release it on Steam. If you want to make Epic exclusive DLC after that, okay, whatever.
Well, yeah, like do the deals afterwards, or make it from the get go. Like I know me and Tutu had mentioned this a while back when we started seeing all these Epic exclusive deals pop up, crop up more and more and more. And it's like, choose one way or the other. Like, we don't want to complain at you for doing things like this, but if you started out as like, okay, from the get go, we're gonna go and we're gonna release this game on Epic, and you didn't do pre-orders at all on Steam, that's better. But don't go 6 months down the line and be like, oh, by the way, we're switching over because we think Epic can make us some money. It's like, okay, we get you want to make money and we're all for supporting you, but don't screw the fans that are trying to, play the game.
Almost any other industry, there would be legal grounds.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Nike was like going around saying like, yeah, we got this Target exclusive, baby. 6 months, it's coming out. And then like a month before, it's now Walmart exclusive. You know how quickly sued Nike would be?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Any
I'm with
industry, you do that same scenario. 6 months promoting, we're going to be here. And last minute swapping to there. There's like entire federal statutes on that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they don't seem to care very much about what we, federally.
They don't understand. They get enough customer outrage.
Right.
That's how regulation gets introduced.
Federally,
consumers get mad. Consumer regulations end up becoming a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's always been like gamers are untouched. Like the gaming industry as a whole has been generally unregulated and like almost unwatched. ERSB ratings don't matter at all ever. There are now games out that don't even have an ESRB rating or whatever it is. They don't care. So I think that at some point, the feds are going to catch wind of what's going on with Epic, and they're going to catch wind of what's going on, and they're going to be like, all right, enough of this. Enough.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's going to take some time.
These developers are doing it to themselves because the more they do this, the more noise is being made.
Exactly.
The more politicians are politicians, regardless of what initials in front of their name, they always trying to get in that soundbite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the feds, as soon as it becomes like a real problem, then they're gonna be like, okay, enough, we're stepping in. And then when that happens, it's gonna be a whole thing.
I get the backlash over games that they say they're coming out on Steam, and then all of a sudden, like a month before the release, they say, oh, now we're on Epic. Like, I totally understand that. But Epic Games has also got a lot of backlash, like just in general. Like, we look at the Borderlands situation, and I get like, it's weird that fans feel like entitled that like they expect these games to be on Steam, but like Borderlands was never announced to be on Steam. And, they got review bombed and people threw shit storms at it, and like in a sense, like I get it, but then like I don't, and this like it's really
Borderlands
weird.
Well,
Borderlands casualty, it's collateral damage. Because the sad thing that happened with Borderlands 3 is that this fire was already started by Epic.
Yeah.
And Borderlands
true.
just so happened to announce during the fire, and it just got kicked in there.
Not only just
I
that
feel bad
too,
for Borderlands 3 because they didn't ask for this.
but
Yeah.
I feel bad for Borderlands 3 for a lot more than that, but
Well, yeah, their aftermath they didn't handle that well at all. That PR was horrible.
well, no,
But
they
the
made it
initial
worse.
backlash they didn't ask for.
They made it a hell of a lot worse in that case. But no, look, one of the things I'm not a huge fan of, and at least in terms of the Borderlands, is all the rest of the Borderlands games were released on Steam exclusively, even though there was other stores they could have released to at the time. But the big thing that takes away when they go on to Epic is the fact that you can't mod your game anymore now with your friends. That's the biggest biggest downfall. Now that's why a good chunk of the people are waiting till it comes out on Steam. Later on, I think it was April is when it comes out now on Steam. Is like
April 3rd,
you'll have people waiting for that instead of dealing with Epic. I mean, I'm sure there might be even people that'll buy it twice just so they could play it. Like, if I got a free key, I would play it, but I wouldn't buy it purposely on that because I'd rather play it on Steam when I could play it with mods and everything.
In all honesty, Epic is lacking behind in its competition when it comes for user features, but they offer more money to developers, so they kind of already give that outward impression. This is just more money for the devs. Screw customer inconvenience.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a cultural outlook they kind of projected themselves. That was the other thing they harped on when they were announcing this big thing. More money for the devs. Okay, what for the customers though?
Yeah,
what happens? Money for the devs.
But what happens? What happens in the customers? You piss them off so much they don't want to buy the games now. They've wasted all this money on upfront costs to developers, and now the game won't sell as well because they've eaten everybody's cornflakes.
And we can be spiteful as hell. I bet you there are some people right now on Reddit 4chan just like, know what? I'm going to buy Steam games so they do take 30%. I want them to take 30% now. You deserve to have that 30%.
Yeah. On top of the other, going back to the announcements. The Ancestors Humankind also comes out this week. Borderlands 3, of course, we know about September 13th.
Oh, Ancestors. That looks interesting.
Control.
Yeah, that's the Denonosian like survival game, right?
Yeah,
like Homo erectus doing stuff.
It's from I think the original Assassin's Creed developer.
Yeah. Control also, which I'm actually looking forward to. I got a key for that. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, October 4th. Except I'm going to be playing that with the Uplay Pass. More than likely, I'm not going to be playing it with that. Outer Worlds, which is what we talked about. This is October 25th. Like, October is also super, super loaded. Like, like it calms down a little bit in September. Like, there's still some big releases in September, but October is like when the hammer drops. And then Shenmue 3, November. And then there's a couple other games that were announced, but there are no real details on them. Just the fact they just name dropped them.
One of these caught my eye, and it's Atomic Crops. The owner of it sounds like they took Farming Simulator 2019 and gave you a gun and said go for it. And I'm so ready for it. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You must grow ultra GMO crops to feed the local town.
I wonder if you can use Mondo to
Brondo.
Plants.
Brondo. It's got what plants crave.
It has electrolytes.
It's got electrolytes. I had a Brondo bumper sticker on my car for a long time. So people would be like, "What's that from?" And I'll look at them. I'll say, "It's got what plants crave," and I'll just walk away.
I still love the fact that it's still a game, or not a game, a movie that's come out as a comedy that's turning into a documentary.
Oh God! Please don't remind me. That hurts. That hurts my feelings, man.
It was a documentary when it was released.
It was a documentary when it was released.
Yep.
The Cycle seems pretty cool too. That's from the same developers that did Spec Ops Online years ago.
Yeah.
They did Dread.
Which one? The Cycle?
Yeah, the Cycle. It's a PvE VP game. I have the alpha. I never played it though, but it seems really cool. It's like you're out in this world, you're like looking for resources and supplies and stuff, and then you're like fighting these hordes of like aliens, and there's other people that could be in the mix, and they could be like a friend or foe. It has a pretty cool concept.
Oh, okay. Journey to Savage Planet and Keen. Pretty Puzzler, and then the Journey to Savage Planet is also a space exploration which looks pretty cool. But yeah, I mean we're over time a little bit today, but hey, I mean there's a lot of stuff to go through. We even cut some
Yeah, a
stuff
lot
out.
of stuff to go through.
But
still, I think we got what we needed to do.
Yep.
Wrong gospel. What? What do you mean? What's gospel?
I feel like eating some juicy popcorn too.
Wait. What was wrong?
I have no idea.
I'm so lost.
I don't know.
All
right.
Knowing me, I was just thanking for the spelling on the.
Oh, about idiocracy? There's nothing wrong about that. It's turning into a documentary as we live through. Fun effect means people get smarter. Well, I mean, if that were true, sure.
Depending on where we're talking about,
yeah.
But the general population's going down. We're gonna have
we're talking about coastal cities.
Look, we're going towards Judge Dredd with mega cities and cursed Earth. Okay, it's just gonna happen. 30 years.
All right.
You're muted for a second.
We good? We good?
Wait, what? Oh, I wasn't saying
We
anything.
wrapping this up, or
we good? Can I go back to watching my anime now?
Oh man. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining us today for this week's episode. We're gonna be back hopefully next week with everything. I think everything should be back to normal next week. It's a 3-day weekend. It should be nice. Labor Day.
Oh, thank God.
Oh yeah, I might be going down to New York City that weekend.
Uh-oh.
Nah, I'm not on stream day, but I'll take some pictures for you.
all right.
For sure.
But yeah, if you guys haven't checked out all the awesome streamers here on FatB TV and the Imperium News Network, definitely do so. Kid Tutu, I know is you're coming up here live here soon, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be streaming some games here on FatB TV next week. I'm excited. We got Man of Medan coming out, and a game I've been looking forward to called Astral Chain. It's a Switch exclusive. It looks so dope. It comes out, I think, Friday. I can't wait.
Nice.
Okay, before
that key for Ashes of Oahu.
Before we go, I have one last thing I want to plug. I found this game like probably about a week or so ago, and it's called Urban Explorer. It's not out yet. It's on Steam though. It's by Woodland Games, and it's called Urban Explorer, and it's all about Urbex, but in a video game.
Nice.
And I'm ridiculously hyped for it. So if you've got a second, go check it out. Give them a follow. Make sure that thing gets released. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter.
Sounds good. Alrighty, guys and gals, thank you all so much for joining us today, and we'll see you all next week. Take it easy.
Have a good one.
Peace.
For the permit. I don't care if you buy a permit. Do you know how little I actually care if you have a permit?
Complaining about the fact that he received no support from that. I think Boat has some.
Yes, I
some
do.
leaks for us.
Oh, I got some leaks for you.
It's like simple shit like that. No, simple shit like that. If he can't answer that publicly,
I need to break in because I need more original every week. That's a goal.
Do you really actually get paid for that? Because you deserve money for that last one. That one was a amazing setup.